I used to be that person, always eager to share every achievement, every success, with anyone who would listen. Whether it was a new job, a promotion, or even a personal milestone, I wanted everyone to know. I thought that by telling others, I'd somehow solidify my success, get more recognition, and maybe even some praise. But what I didn't realize was that by talking too much about my achievements, I was actually undermining my progress. I was making mistakes that I didn't even see until they started holding me back. The truth is, by constantly sharing my wins, I was inviting unnecessary pressure, expectations, and even envy into my life. I didn't protect my peace. I didn't realize that every time I spoke too soon, I was giving others the opportunity to weigh in, to judge, and sometimes to sabotage. But here's the thing, you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. If you watch this whole video, you'll learn the 9 Stoic insights that completely shifted my perspective. And let me tell you, especially the last 2 insights are crucial. They'll show you exactly why keeping quiet about your success is not just wise. It's essential for lasting growth and freedom. So stick with me through this, and let's dive into the real reasons why silence can be your greatest strength. Insight 1. Silence protects your mental clarity. One of the biggest lessons I've learned from Stoicism is that silence can protect your mental clarity. Back when I used to share every success and every step of my journey with others, I thought I was simply celebrating my wins. But what I didn't realize was how much noise this created in my own mind. Sharing too much with others opens the door for opinions, unsolicited advice, and even judgments that cloud your thinking. It adds layers of external noise that can interfere with your internal peace, making it harder to stay focused on your goals. Let's think about the value of silence in a world full of noise. Every time you speak, you invite others into your process. This means that their thoughts, beliefs, and judgments can subtly affect how you view your own progress. Instead of staying grounded in your personal vision, you start to wonder if you're doing enough, if you're doing it right, or if you should be achieving more. I remember moments when a simple conversation would shift my confidence, making me second-guess decisions I had already made. Silence is about preserving your mental clarity by not allowing external influences to cloud your judgment. Stoicism teaches us to value what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. What others think or say about our achievements falls completely outside our sphere of control, and engaging with it only creates unnecessary distractions. By keeping quiet about your success, you protect yourself from external opinions that can steer you off course. You can focus solely on your goals and your path without feeling the need to please or compete with anyone else. There's another aspect to this: the power of solitude and silence for creativity and problem solving. Albert Einstein, as I mentioned in the saved script, found that silence and solitude fueled his creativity. When we allow our minds to settle in quiet moments, we create space for deeper reflection, for insights to arise naturally. Silence isn't just about protecting yourself from the noise of others. It's about giving yourself the room to think, to process, and to plan your next steps without external interference. So, instead of rushing to share your success, take a moment to stay silent. Let the noise of the world pass you by as you nurture your mental clarity and focus. The quieter you are, the more you can hear, both within yourself and in the subtle opportunities the world offers when you're truly paying attention. Insight 2. Talking too much invites unnecessary pressure. The more you talk about your success, the more pressure you invite into your life. This is something I had to learn the hard way. When you openly share your goals or the achievements you're working toward, you're essentially giving others the power to set expectations for you. Suddenly, people are waiting to see if you'll follow through, if you'll continue to grow, or even if you'll fail, and that pressure can weigh you down more than you realize. Think about it. Every time you tell someone about your plans, you add an invisible layer of expectation. You feel like you need to prove yourself, not just to yourself, but to everyone who now knows what you're doing. This added pressure can make your journey towards success more stressful and less enjoyable. I've been there. I'd talk about a big project or a new opportunity I was working on, and instead of feeling excited, I started feeling anxious about meeting other people's expectations. It was no longer just my journey. It felt like I was performing for an audience. This is where Stoicism teaches the importance of keeping your own counsel and not seeking external validation. When you stay silent about your progress, you allow yourself the freedom to succeed or fail without the weight of other people's expectations. You can take risks and experiment without the fear of being judged or criticized. And here's the thing. When you're free from that pressure, you're more likely to succeed because you're not acting out of fear or obligation. You're acting from a place of inner strength and clarity. There's also something to be said for the unexpected pressure that comes from those who might not have your best interests at heart. Not everyone who listens to your success is rooting for you. Some might feel envy, others might subtly undermine your confidence with well-meaning but discouraging comments. I've experienced this firsthand. I'd share something exciting, only to be met with skepticism or doubt from people who, in theory, should have been supportive. Over time, I learned that the fewer people knew about my goals, the less I had to defend myself or deal with unwanted negativity. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of what we share because our success should be about fulfilling our potential, not meeting the expectations of others. By keeping quiet, you allow yourself the space to succeed on your own terms, free from the pressure that comes with external attention. This doesn't mean you can't celebrate your wins. Just be selective about when and with whom you share them. Insight 3. Silence guards your energy. One of the most powerful Stoic lessons I've learned is that silence guards your energy. Early on in my journey, I made the mistake of sharing every step of my progress with others. I thought that by talking about my goals, I would keep myself motivated and accountable. But what I didn't realize was how much energy this actually drained from me. Every conversation, every explanation of what I was doing, took away from the energy I could have been using to focus on the task itself. It was a distraction disguised as productivity. Stoicism emphasizes conserving your energy for things that matter. By speaking less and doing more, you protect your mental and emotional resources. Every time you share your success, you open yourself up to questions, doubts, and even criticism. Each of these interactions requires mental and emotional energy to process. You may not realize it in the moment, but every conversation about your goals takes a small toll on your focus and your drive. I remember a time when I was working on a big project, and I made the mistake of sharing it with a group of friends. What followed was an endless stream of questions and unsolicited advice, most of which wasn't helpful. Instead of moving forward with my plan, I found myself explaining my every move, defending my choices, and even second-guessing decisions that I had already made. By the end of it, I was mentally exhausted, not from the work itself, but from all the unnecessary conversations surrounding it. The lesson I learned was simple. Guard your energy by keeping quiet about your success. The less you talk, the more energy you preserve for what truly matters: your work, your growth, and your own satisfaction. Silence gives you the space to focus inward, to channel your energy into productive action instead of draining it through constant explanations and justifications. This doesn't mean isolating yourself completely. You can still have conversations and share your journey with trusted individuals, but be mindful of how much you share and with whom. The people who genuinely support you won't need constant updates. They'll be there to celebrate your success when you're ready to share it. By maintaining a boundary of silence, you protect your energy, ensuring that it's spent on actions that move you forward rather than on conversations that hold you back. Insight 4. Silence protects you from envy and negative energy. Another crucial Stoic insight I've come to understand is that silence protects you from envy and negative energy. When you openly share your success, you may unintentionally invite jealousy or even subtle sabotage into your life. I've experienced this firsthand. Early in my journey, I was excited about every milestone I hit, so I shared my progress openly, assuming that everyone around me would be supportive. What I didn't expect was the undercurrent of envy that came from some people, even those I thought were my friends. Stoicism teaches us that human nature is complex, and not everyone who listens to your success is genuinely happy for you. Envy can be a powerful force, and when people feel threatened by your progress, they might respond with negativity, even if they don't express it outright. This negativity can come in the form of discouraging comments, passive-aggressive remarks, or even subtle efforts to undermine your confidence. I remember a time when I achieved something significant in my career, and I was proud of it. I shared the news with a colleague, expecting them to be excited for me. Instead, I was met with a dismissive response, something like, "Well, let's see how long that lasts." That comment stuck with me and made me doubt my own achievement. It introduced a seed of insecurity that hadn't been there before, and it made me realize how easily other people's envy could infiltrate my own sense of accomplishment. By keeping quiet about your success, you shield yourself from this kind of negative energy. You don't give others the chance to project their insecurities onto you, and you maintain control over your own confidence. Stoicism teaches that your sense of self-worth should come from within, not from the validation or judgment of others. Silence helps you protect that internal source of strength by not exposing it to external threats. Moreover, when you keep your success to yourself, you maintain a level of humility that is deeply valued in Stoic philosophy. Humility isn't about downplaying your achievements. It's about understanding that your success is yours alone, and it doesn't need to be flaunted or used to compare yourself to others. When you stay silent, you stay humble, and humility is a powerful defense against both envy and arrogance. In the end, silence not only protects you from the negative energy of others, but also helps you maintain a grounded sense of accomplishment. By keeping your success private, you preserve your mental and emotional well-being, allowing you to continue growing without the burden of external judgment or envy. Insight 5. Silence fosters inner growth. One of the most transformative Stoic insights I've embraced is that silence fosters inner growth. I used to think that the more I shared my thoughts and progress with others, the more I would grow. I believed that external feedback would help me become better, faster. But the truth I've discovered is that true growth happens in the quiet moments of reflection, not in constant conversation. When you stop talking about your success and goals, you create space for deeper introspection. Stoicism teaches that inner wisdom comes from examining your own thoughts and actions, rather than constantly seeking validation or guidance from others. When you're silent, you allow yourself to listen to your intuition, to process your experiences fully, and to learn from them without outside interference. I learned this the hard way. In the past, I would rush to share every realization, every step forward with friends or colleagues. But I found that doing so often diluted the personal significance of those moments. Instead of allowing myself to fully digest what I had learned, I would prematurely package it into something to share, and in doing so, I missed the deeper lessons waiting to unfold. I was so eager to talk that I didn't give myself time to truly think. Silence, on the other hand, creates a fertile ground for personal growth. When you stop explaining yourself to others, you start asking deeper questions of yourself. What am I learning from this experience? How can I apply this to the next challenge? What does this success mean in the context of my overall journey? These are the kinds of questions that lead to meaningful growth, and they require space and quiet to answer. Additionally, silence encourages self-discipline. Stoicism values the mastery of one's own mind, and that requires restraint. Restraint from indulging in constant external validation, and restraint from letting every thought or feeling be expressed impulsively. When you practice silence, you train yourself to focus on the internal, not the external. This builds a stronger, more resilient character because you're not dependent on others to reinforce your sense of progress. By keeping quiet about your success, you also give yourself the time and mental space to prepare for the next steps in your journey. Instead of spending energy on sharing your progress, you channel that energy into planning, strategizing, and improving. Silence becomes a tool for refining your vision and honing your craft, uninterrupted by outside voices. In the end, silence fosters inner growth by allowing you to cultivate wisdom, discipline, and self-awareness. It shifts the focus from outward validation to inward understanding, and that's where true personal development happens. Insight 6. Silence keeps you humble and grounded. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned through Stoicism is that silence keeps you humble and grounded. When we achieve success, it's natural to want to share it with others. We feel proud, and we want to be recognized for our accomplishments. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that pride, if unchecked, can lead to arrogance, and arrogance disconnects us from the deeper purpose of our journey. I've fallen into this trap before. When I first started achieving my goals, I felt the need to talk about them constantly. I wanted people to know how hard I was working, how far I had come. But what I didn't realize was that in doing so, I was feeding my ego. The more I talked about my success, the more I began to identify with it. I started to believe that my worth was tied to what I had accomplished, and that's a dangerous mindset to have. Stoicism reminds us that success is fleeting. Just as easily as we achieve something, we can lose it. The only thing we truly have control over is how we conduct ourselves, our character, our values, and our actions. By staying silent about your success, you remind yourself that your worth isn't based on what you've accomplished, but on who you are and how you live your life. Silence is a powerful antidote to arrogance. It allows you to stay grounded in the reality that success is not permanent, and it is not the ultimate measure of your value. By not broadcasting your achievements, you resist the temptation to let pride take over. Instead, you stay focused on the work, on continuing to improve, and on maintaining the humility that Stoicism values so deeply. Another important aspect of humility that silence cultivates is the understanding that you are always learning. No matter how much success you achieve, there is always more to know, more to grow, and more to refine. When you're quiet about your success, you keep yourself open to learning from others and from the world around you. You don't close yourself off in the bubble of your own achievements. You remain humble enough to recognize that you still have much to learn. In my own experience, the more I stayed silent about my successes, the more I realized how much further I had to go. It shifted my focus from celebrating what I had done to preparing for what I still needed to do. Silence kept me grounded in the reality that every success is just a stepping stone, not a final destination. By embracing silence, you maintain humility and keep your feet firmly on the ground. You remind yourself that your success is not who you are, but a result of the values you've cultivated. And most importantly, You stay open to learning and growing, knowing that the journey is never truly over. Insight 7. Silence protects your success from sabotage. One of the most critical insights I've learned is that keeping silent about your success can protect it from sabotage. We often underestimate how the act of sharing our achievements can inadvertently attract envy, negative energy, or even direct opposition from others. Stoicism teaches us that external forces are beyond our control, but our actions and choices are not. By staying quiet about our wins, we can safeguard the progress we've made and maintain control over our own path. In the past, I made the mistake of announcing my goals and successes too early, thinking that others would be supportive or impressed. Instead, I encountered negativity, unsolicited opinions, and even subtle attempts to derail my progress. What I didn't realize at the time was that not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some people, either consciously or unconsciously, may feel threatened by your achievements and may try to undermine them. Others might project their insecurities onto you, casting doubt or criticism where none is warranted. When you keep quiet, you avoid these pitfalls altogether. By not broadcasting your success, you minimize the risk of others interfering with your progress. This doesn't mean you live in fear or distrust of others, but it does mean you exercise wisdom in choosing what to share and with whom. Silence creates a protective barrier around your work, allowing you to focus on your goals without unnecessary distractions or opposition. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on what we can control. You can't control how others react to your success, but you can control how much you share and when. I've learned that by waiting until my work is fully established or a goal is completely achieved before sharing, I reduce the chances of external forces sabotaging my efforts. By the time I do share, the foundation is solid and no amount of negativity can shake it. Additionally, silence helps you maintain the purity of your work. When you keep your success private, you're less likely to be influenced by the opinions or expectations of others. You remain true to your vision rather than altering your course to please others or fit their narrative. This is especially important when working on something meaningful or long-term, as external input can dilute your original intent or push you in a direction that isn't aligned with your values. In the end, silence is a form of protection. It shields your progress from the outside world, allowing you to work in peace and on your own terms. By keeping your success to yourself, you can move forward without the risk of sabotage, whether intentional or unintentional, from those around you. Insight 8. Silence allows you to focus on long-term goals. One of the most powerful benefits of staying silent about your success is that it allows you to maintain focus on your long-term goals. When you constantly talk about your achievements, it's easy to get caught up in short-term validation and lose sight of the bigger picture. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond immediate gratification and stay committed to the larger purpose that guides our actions. I used to fall into the trap of sharing every small victory, thinking it would motivate me to keep going. But what I realized is that the more I talked, the more I lost focus on what really mattered. Sharing my success gave me a sense of accomplishment, but it also created a false sense of completion. It was as if by talking about it, I had already achieved the goal, even though there was still so much more work to do. Stoicism reminds us to focus on the process, not the outcome. When you keep quiet about your success, you stay focused on the work itself. You're not distracted by the applause or the recognition. Instead, you remain dedicated to the task at hand. This shift in focus is crucial for achieving long-term success because it keeps you grounded in the effort and discipline required to reach your ultimate goal. Silence also helps you avoid the trap of complacency. When you talk about your success too early or too often, it's easy to feel like you've already made it. This can lead to a sense of complacency, where you stop pushing yourself as hard because you're satisfied with where you are. But by keeping quiet, you maintain the hunger and drive to keep moving forward. You remind yourself that the journey isn't over, and there's always more to learn and achieve. In my experience, the times when I've kept silent about my progress were the times when I made the most significant strides toward my long-term goals. Without the distraction of external validation, I was able to channel all my energy into the work itself. And because I wasn't constantly seeking approval or recognition, I could stay focused on the larger vision I had for myself. Another important aspect of silence is that it allows you to adjust and pivot when necessary. When you're not publicly announcing every step of your journey, you have the freedom to change direction without feeling the pressure of others' expectations. This flexibility is key to long-term success, because the path to achieving your goals is rarely a straight line. Sometimes you need to make adjustments, and it's much easier to do so when you haven't shared every detail of your progress with the world. Insight 9. Silence builds inner strength and resilience. One of the greatest benefits of keeping quiet about your success is that it builds inner strength and resilience. When you rely less on external validation and more on your own sense of achievement, you cultivate a deeper, more unshakable confidence. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, not from the opinions or approval of others. In my own experience, I found that staying silent about my achievements forced me to develop a stronger internal foundation. Without the constant reinforcement from others, I had to rely on my own conviction and belief in my path. This internal reliance not only made me more resilient to setbacks, but also more confident in my abilities. Silence creates a space where you can focus on your personal growth without needing the validation of others. It fosters independence, self-reliance, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're progressing for yourself, not for the applause. This inner strength becomes a valuable asset, especially when facing challenges or criticism, as you're no longer swayed by external forces. Your success, and the path to it, becomes something deeply personal and much harder to shake. By cultivating this inner strength through silence, you become emotionally free from the need to prove yourself to others, and free from the pressure of public opinion. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, the power to remain steady and resilient regardless of the noise around you.